Now, if you're in Nigeria, you've probably seen it. Long queues snaking down roads and around fuel stations in major cities across the country. Nigeria's oil regulatory body, NNPC, has not given an official reason for the current fuel scarcity, but an independent petroleum marketers association says it's due to the importation and sale of contaminated or dirty petrol. The association said 100 million liters of petrol with high sulfur content are being withdrawn from filling stations. Nigeria is Africa's largest producer of crude oil, but imports refined petroleum products as its local refineries have not functioned for years. Last year, an international watchdog group found that dealers export to Nigeria around 900,000 tons a year of low-grade dirty fuel made in Dutch, Belgian, and other European refineries. So has Nigeria become a dumping ground for subpar fuel? Well, I have with me in the studio the national president of the Independent Petroleum Marketers Association of Nigeria, or IPMAN Chinedu Okoronkwo. So good to have you. What's the update at the moment? Because we all know you've seen it yourself, the fuel queues. A lot of Nigerians are also complaining that some of them lost their vehicle engines, some even generator engines and all of that to this dirty fuel. What have you heard from your members?
Well, I want to thank you for having me in your studio today. Apparently, in any given situation, business-wise, sometimes you might have ups and downs in it. I think this is the time we must let the world know that Independent Marketers Association of Nigeria have never been part of any scarcity or whatever you might call it. Our own duty is to ensure that we take product and put our station and retail to, the masses.
The consumers.
Yeah. So moving forward on the issue of this contaminated product, it's no more a hidden thing, but we've gotten assurance from the NNPC that that fuel has been removed, and they have brought in new one now that we are now using. Maybe, one small ripple in the system for 1 or 2 days might exaggerate into 1 week.
Yeah, but this actually started since last week. There are some people in
Oka,
in Port Harcourt, started complaining that the grade of fuel that they were having wasn't like the normal specs that they usually have.
That's correct.
And some of them complained that their vehicle engines knocked down and all of that.
But it's not up to 1 week. I said it takes a problem of 3 or 4 days in the system to send a signal of maybe 1 week. But the assurance now is that they have gotten their ass together and that product is no more there. Maybe those who have gotten that bad fuel will now keep it.
Yeah, that's what I wanted to also know. How are you withdrawing? How are your members actually withdrawing that dirty fuel?
Yeah,
alongside the NNPC, so that it's not also resold somewhere else?
No, it's very easy. They will decant, and maybe an NNPC or DPR will come and do inventory. I think there won't be any reason for panic. Even when water gets into fuel, you can remove it. But this one is high sulfur from what we've been able to observe. But there is nothing to worry, that will not get into the market. If you look at the market, people are still buying fuel now, which means the good one have started coming into the system.
Okay, now can you just take us through the difference between this high sulfur fuel and then the regular one, the good one that we have here? Once people buy it, it still looks like the genuine fuel. It doesn't look like there's any difference, but how do you identify it? For consumers to actually be aware.
Well, it has to go through the laboratory test. I believe maybe not from our own side, maybe from the lab might not have given them the accurate flash point and everything. Mistake can always come in. This thing is imported. It's not refined here. But one thing is certain is that they have removed it from the system. And our members who have also, those who have gotten it to the public, so that we don't increase their sufferings.
There was this video that circulated where some people whose engines, car engines knocked down, actually dumped their vehicles in the filling station, one filling station that we saw, and they were saying that the filling station owner is the one that would have to pay for it. Who should actually take responsibility for this kind of situation?
Well, the people might not be wrong because it has to start from somewhere. Having started from the filling station, the station will now report their problem to where they have gotten the fuel.
The depots.
So for us, anybody dumping it in the filling station, there shouldn't be any problem with that. But what is important that it didn't originate from the station. It originated from somewhere, and it will be taken care of. Yeah,
so is it the filling station that will help them to recover their engines that have knocked, or there's a way that NNPC can actually get to reach an accord with the depot and then the filling station alongside the owners of the vehicle?
Now there is a point of incidence. Now we will also ensure that from that, if we get the report as an organization to help the marketer who is having these issues with the customers to resolve it, there must be a way out of it.
And there are also reports that the NNPC has refused to sell petroleum products on credit to major oil marketers, and that's why we are also having this scarcity. I don't know if you have that information too.
Independent marketers will do what we call cash and carry. And this question will be properly directed to NNPC. But I believe as operator, they know how to do their business. For us, we don't have credit line with NNPC. And if that is their policy, then I think they have to work it out with the major marketers especially. They are the ones.
The NNPC is introducing this new policy. Does it mean that there were no outreaches, at least to some of these major oil marketers, before that decision was taken? Because, I mean, how could people who have been buying on credit for a long period of time suddenly just receive notice that they would have to start paying before they are giving these fuel products? And then, of course, you've seen the impact now on the streets.
We need to ask them so that we don't begin to talk something, that we're not sure of. And NPC have not really come out openly to let us know if that is the truth. But if that is the truth, like you have posited, I believe they have their market strategy. Maybe we don't want to give it. Could be some people are not paying them when they're supposed to pay them. So they have the right to say this is how we want to go now. We cannot challenge their system. More so, we're not enjoying it.
We heard that the National Association of Road Transport Owners are also threatening to embark on strike if the fuel price actually goes up to 400 naira, 435, and all of that. What do you make of that threat, actually?
Well, I think this is the time we need to call a spade a spade. Where do they come into this business of fueling? Remember, NATO properly is designed for flat bodies, but they have inched into the business that is not supposed to be theirs, where they will now begin to talk about dining tool hub. Before you become a marketer, you must have, in the condition of becoming an independent marketer, that you must have some trucks. So if they are threatening without the owners of the business who have the oil and everything, you are threatening for what? And without reaching out to us so that we can work collectively to see how we solve if there is any problem. I don't subscribe to people going on strike, using strike as a tool or whatever to address issues. We have the trucks. My members have the trucks. Only AA Radu has over 10,000 trucks on the way. It's our member. AY Shafa, Tony Mas. So you must liaise with these people before you talk about anything trucks. They are members. So you cannot just wake up and you just, by Jove, you want to go on strike. For what?
Yeah, but do you...
Dislocating our business. Business people don't go on strike. They negotiate and see how they can get something done.
Do you think that the right platform has been created for this negotiation by both the government and even your own group,
Well, I think they have to look at the people who have agreement with government. We have our bulk purchase with government. They have no bulk purchase with government. And this is why I will now call on government to look at what is happening in this oil and gas industry. A lot of people are beginning to get into areas they're supposed not to get into. Why would a NATO man begin to threaten government? He has no business with them.
All right. Well, we'll continue this conversation when we come back from the break and talk especially about the issues surrounding the leadership tussle in IPMAN. You're still watching the Arise interview. Plenty more still ahead. Stay with us. Welcome back to the Arise interview. I'm Sumner Sambo. And my first guest today is Chinedu Okoronkwo, the president of the Independent Petroleum Marketers Association of Nigeria, and we've been taking a critical look at the issues that have to do with the fuel scarcity in the major cities of Nigeria, and then, of course, the importation of the dirty fuel that has been withdrawn by the NNPC, and how that is also affecting motorists across the nation. And I want to talk about this threat by NATO before we go to other issues, and their threat also to actually withdraw haulage services. I mean, the movement of petroleum products across the country, saying that the price of diesel, which is known as AGO, technically has risen to 401 naira per liter. They are afraid that, I mean, it may get up to 420 to 430 naira at filling stations, and even 450 if something is not done urgently, which is the reason why they are threatening to withdraw their services. And if they do that, that means petroleum products will not be delivered across the nation, despite the fact that IPMAN operates separately. Why do you think that is actually happening?
Well, I think you might have good intention doing something, but the approach is what is very, very needed. You can't do anything in the sector without looking at the owners of the business. It's not compulsory that everybody will use your services. Maybe those who want to use, but it's not compulsory. You now lump it on everybody who you are going on strike. It's wrong. So
there should be negotiation instead.
They have to talk with the owners of the business. We are the ones that have business with an NPC. So if there is anything, it's a challenge in the industry that we have to look at and maybe call those who are using their service. How do we work together?
And is this fluctuation in the price of diesel?
See how we can now call government into the whole system.
Is this fluctuation in the price of diesel actually related to the dollar rate?
I mean, very well. You have said it all. It's dollar, getting dollar to getting this thing is not easy. When we don't produce this thing here, you will always have problems like this. But it's not the best approach for people to, when you just wake up, you threaten, without reaching the stakeholders who have the business. For me, it's an aberration, and it should be looked into.
What are the things you think the federal government should do very quickly to arrest this threat of a strike by NATO, which may affect the haulage of petroleum products across the country?
They have to intervene with marketers. It's the marketers that will call their transporters. Come, look at what we're doing with government. You don't just wake up one day and you want to do this. Does it make any sense? You distort people's business. You grant people's business. And it's a sine qua non. For you to have this bulk purchase agreement that you must have truck, what are those people? You want to grant the activities of those people who are independent of what you are doing? It's wrong. So if we must do something, everybody must come together and say, how do we solve this problem? I believe in solving problem, not disorganizing this system.
One of the critical issues facing IPMAN now is the leadership tussle. I mean, you had some other person being inaugurated recently, and then you challenged that leadership. You brought in some court judgments saying that you had already secured a court judgment, and there was no reason why that other group should have been inaugurated as the IPMAN president. Now, there was a sort of factionalization, but we saw Nopeng there, we saw some other groups there, and a lot of Nigerians were taken aback as to what is actually happening with IPMAN. Why is IPMAN divided?
That is why I came here with some judgment. Maybe time might not permit you. We have law and order in this country. a matter that started in a trial court of first instance. We defeated them. Then went to Court of Appeal. Court of Appeal upheld the judgment on the trial court with even a cost of 100,000 naira. They were not satisfied. They went to Supreme Court. Supreme Court dismissed the matter with another cost of 2 million naira, which they have paid. Now, the issue we are saying, in the course of our problem, the likes of NATO, tanker driver, Nupeng, they got into our association with those people who were defeated, and till now they are the one causing this trouble. They don't want to obey the ruling of the Supreme Court, the order of the day that government have set up these courts to, when you are not satisfied with any system, you go to court. And if the court have ruled up to Supreme Court, you even went for variation, what else do you want to do? And the same people claiming from the angle where the man have paid 2 million naira. I brought everything. I brought the letter here. The day I came here, they saw me, they ran away. You were here. I mean, they couldn't stand, because the truth is very open for everybody to see. My tenure will be ending next year, December 14th. So
in other words, the annual general meeting that was held, illegal, where the new president in quotes emerged is illegal.
It's even now.
Is that what you're saying, based on
already,
the judgment that you secured?
There is a contempt proceeding going on that right away.
At the court in Abuja?
At the court in Abuja here, Maitama Court 6. And
what exactly are you seeking?
To commit them to prison for not adhering to the judgment on the Supreme Court and other courts below. That is the law. So for you, the media house, especially, I'm using this medium because you have seen the paper. This is government. And there are rules and law governing this country. When you lose in court, don't be a bad loser.
Yeah, but why would you have NLC members, Nupeng members, all identifying with that faction?
Because of our money. Because of our money, trip levy. These tanker drivers have usurped the whole process. They are now like the law. They don't have... Well, pretty soon you'll be hearing what we are doing. Because the whole members of the BOT, the NEC members, and everybody will have decided not to look for our money. The era of confusion is over. There must be law. By next year, when I leave, another person will come in. And we'll have 5 years tenure.
And I will ask, who is in charge of the IPMAN Secretariat at the moment?
I am there, number 41 Yadema. I've been there since after the Supreme Court ruling. It was executed here in Abuja. I went in. Even the police and everybody, Attorney General of the Federation, wrote to all the relevant ministries. Look at the letter here. Maybe I can read it for you if you have time.
Oh, well, we do not have enough time to do all of that.
Look at it.
I mean, definitely. I saw some of those documents, yes, that you sent, even from the Office of the Inspector General of Police
and even Attorney General
of the Federation.
Notifying every organs of government. Look at all of them, both the SSS, police, petroleum resources, just equalization, all of them, over how many of them? 9 or 10. And somebody will trivialize all those things.
Yeah, and a lot of Nigerians want to find out what exactly is in IPMAN that is leading to this huge division. Is there some monies that are up for grabs?
It's not
or the influence you have in negotiating with government, that is what has led to this division?
Remember, we control over 80% of the downstream sector. It's huge. It's not about money, but it's about having voice, working out something with government, putting enabling things, suggestions to government on how to run the economy. It's a huge organization that you cannot trivialize. So for all these people you are saying, all this NATO, all this tanker driver, all this NSC, they are part of the people causing this confusion. And we have also written to them.
Now, as we try to
get off from this association and allow peace to reign in our association.
As we try to round off this conversation, one would wonder what should be done urgently to take these cars off the streets, as we have this issue of bad contamination of fuel, and then this issue of major oil marketers not being allowed to get, fuel on credit and all of that. What do you think the NNPC and then every other person needs to do within the industry? The midstream authority and all of that.
Now they are holding their meeting somewhere in Abuja here. Maybe at the end of the day or tomorrow, they might come out with their own position on how to ameliorate all this. But I know they have done something internally that people are beginning to get good and normal fuel.
So before the end of the week, you think this will ease off?
All things being equal.
All right.
Things must be equal.
All right.
You know.
We must thank you so much, Elder Chinedu Okoronkwo, like you like calling yourself.
That is now you have put in the name in the proper.
Well, we must thank you, the National President of the Independent Petroleum Marketers Association of Nigeria, ending on a very good note, giving assurances to Nigeria that before the end of the week, the petroleum queues we have across the nation would have eased off.